Hello everyone, Deanna here, and thanks so much for being here. So today's video is going to be a book review, and the book I'm reviewing is an audiobook that I recently listened to, which was Listening in the Dark by Amber Tamblyn. So this one was one that I saw on Twitter by the actress Amber Tamblyn. I do follow her on Twitter, and I had seen that she had posted something about it, and I was very intrigued. So I'm going to go ahead and read out what the brief summary of this book is about. So this book is a collection of essays and stories from a group of incredible and strong women. The stories and essays are centered on the strength of womanhood and the intuition we all have. In these stories, the women reflect on their own intuition and how they learn to listen to it to protect themselves, build themselves up, and become the fantastic women they all are. It had moments of conversations between America Ferrera, which is another actress, and Amber Tamblyn. There were essays from a lot of different incredible women, such as even doctors who recounted stories in the ER or some of the other things that has happened in their lives, and it honestly just inspired talks between me and my son. This book was very impactful read in the way that it had me reflecting a lot on myself. It was so powerful and relatable in so many ways. I loved hearing the different stories as well, because we don't just hear from Amber, but we hear from all these other different women as she collected all these different stories and scenarios that happened or lessons that they've learned and things to, like I said, bring them to be the women that they very much are. And it's a bit of an exploration of like, what is intuition? How do we find our intuition? How do we trust ourselves when sometimes society is telling us that maybe we're wrong in what we're thinking, or maybe there's things that we just shove down because, well, we're supposed to be a certain way. And this is very much trying to find a way to be your authentic self and listen to your own intuition and put that trust and power in yourself back in your own hands. So, and also just trusting in your fellow community as well, of the community of strong and wonderful people that lift you up and love you and want you to be the best. There's that kind of that balance too, and that's part of the intuition, is sometimes we get that gut feeling, and what does that gut feeling mean, and how do we trust that gut when maybe sometimes we've been afraid to trust it before. So how do we get to a place where we feel more comfortable listening to ourselves? And that's kind of the play on the title, is that we're listening in the dark. We're trying to find that moment within ourselves to close our eyes and just see, like, who are we and who do we want to be and what type of person do we want to present, and not only that, but how do we listen to this intuition when sometimes maybe we're not using it as well as we should. And it's being able to flex that muscle, as it were, and be able to strengthen it and make it stronger and make it something that we can begin to trust. So I just found it a very interesting read, and I like I said, I loved listening to the different voices. We did have, in the audiobook version, we had Amber reading some of the parts, but then we also had the women reading their own parts, or maybe a individual who read it for them, and there were quite a few parts that I really loved and really connected with. Some of the stories I saw myself reflected in that story, or I really connected with it, and as I said, felt so relatable to what that woman was sharing, because maybe I had experienced something similar and it just made me react in a certain way too, or made me kind of take that moment to think, how do I react and how do I become someone that can trust their own intuition? So, and like I said, I was listening to this on audiobook, so when I listen in my house, others can hear me, or when I'm listening in the car, I'm driving, you know, it comes through the speakers. And my son was listening with me, and I think that was really wonderful for him to have moments of, oh, Mom, you know, we should make sure that people feel safe to share their stories. And he was kind of being able to take some of what he was hearing and be able to put it to, you know, his own way of being able to have space for others and for himself too, but being able to have that perspective of we have to be kind to others. And, you know, and he would just have comments of things about like, oh, Mom, wow, could you imagine? That would be so scary if that happened. So it was wonderful for kind of opening that door for that conversation for some of us to have, and some of the things to reflect on, and, well, what if that happened to you, and things like that. So it was very, very eye-opening in some ways to try to see it through my young son's eyes as well. So that was something that I think really will sit with me on. That was a nice way to open that conversation and reflect with him as well. But overall, I really enjoyed the story. Oh, I did not rate it here, but I'll go ahead and rate it right now live on camera. And I'm gonna rate it 5 stars because I thought that the collection of the stories really worked well. The writing style was nice. The conversations that they were having was really great. It really was insightful, impactful, and just really had me thinking about it. So I thought overall it was a really great read, and I really enjoyed reading it. So that's going to be it. If you've heard of Listening in the Dark, let me know below. If you're interested, go check it out. It is available in a variety of different medias. I personally chose audiobook because, as I said, I just saw that she had it available. I pre-ordered it for October 18th because that's when it came out, and I pretty much started listening to it as soon as I could. And then I was done it within maybe a day or so because it's not super, super long to listen to, but I really enjoyed it. So that was about it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think below, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves, and you will see me next time. Bye!